Mr. Rizvi. He's the advisor to the National Disaster Management Agency. You see his colleagues everywhere. He's the gentleman who pays the bill for climate change. So wherever disaster strikes, you see Mr. Rizvi. All landslides, all floods, his agency manages the aftermath of all that. Mr. Rizvi, I've always wanted to ask this. How do you begin a day, your day, in an organization where the middle name is disaster?
Well, I think I have to learn from you guys in television. Looking at that stopwatch, I'm getting blood pressure. So it's like Tom Cruise on a train trying to defuse a bomb. I mean, it's making me really nervous. But that's how we begin our day. The disaster, there's a crisis, like this recent landslide in northern Sikkim in the district of Mangan, where half the army cantonment got split in half because there was a retrogressive landslide. So it starts with that, then it ends with a disaster. It leaves us very little time for planning. So what we did was we segregated our entire division into 4 types of activities. One is operations, which deals with response, where you see those orange suited guys. So we have a separate force called National Disaster Response Force. We have spread that to the states also, State Disaster Response Force. Some are doing very well, some have just about started. So that's where the response side comes. The 15th Finance Commission put aside about $35 billion for 5 years, of which 40% is for response. However, 30% has been put for reconstruction, and 30% before that is for preparedness and mitigation. That is where we have to plan. If there are urban floods, you need to predict why are the rains happening, why are there extreme weather events. And if there is climate change and there is a rise in heat and surface temperatures as well as sea temperatures, then what type of difference is it making to the weather? Which is why our primary job is to bring IMD, Central Water Commission, National Remote Sensing Center, all their work together and get the states to work on it. So creating resilience in infrastructure, which includes solar infrastructure, wind infrastructure, that's just one aspect. So energy, power, telecom, roads. So for that, there's like the International Solar Alliance that India has created, a collection of several countries. We have also got together with others to create the Center for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, right. CDRI. So these are 2 very interesting international organizations that are working on similar stuff.
Right. Is that we don't know when disaster strikes, but we do know what are the 2 or 3 steps or 5 or 10 steps that we should take to ameliorate that pain. What, according to you, is a checklist that everybody should be having in his or her mind the moment disaster strikes, and what can be done to prevent its worst form?
Yeah, so I mean, I would have you know that India has 13 to 14 types of hazards, we call them. And what you need to do when an earthquake strikes is very different from what you need to do when there's going to be heavy precipitation or there's going to be a very extreme heat. So there are different things over there. We put out lots of programs over there. As an organization, as government, as state governments, as city governments, there are a lot of little things that they do. So if it's earthquakes, then you have to be prepared that after an earthquake, when everything has fallen, when people there are fatalities, what do you do with the rest of the population? You have to prevent fires, you have to set up your hospitals, so you have to have earthquake resilient buildings, your hospitals, fire brigade, and your control room should be earthquake resilient. But on the solar point, I'd like to bring in one issue over here, that we in disaster management are very deep working on the mountainous hazards of landslides, glacial lake outbursts. So for each one, we need automated monitoring stations which require solar panels. At 5,000 meters, you need solar panels. And let me tell you, there are 7,500 glacial lakes in India at about 5,000 meters, that's 16,000 feet. And it's very difficult to find a company or a startup which is able to give us an automated weather monitoring station with sensors and a working solar system which works at -30 and +10, and a connectivity which works 24/7 for 365 days a year. So there's a lot of scope for startups, new tech, for landslide early warning. There's a lot of scope to be done over there as well.